What's up everybody? I'm Jen from Valley Buzzsaw. In today's video, I'm going to give you my list of the top 21 tools that every brand new DIY painter must have in their toolkit. So if you're ready to see if you've got all the tools you need to become a pro level painter, then just stay tuned. If you're new to DIY and particularly to painting, the first thing I suggest you run out and get yourself immediately is a nice heavyweight canvas drop cloth. Cloths are great for catching stray paint, dust, debris, and anything else that might happen to fly around on your job site. Number one tool in any painter's arsenal, always the paintbrush. And for me, I don't really pick anything other than a Purdy. I use them to paint thin edges and to make sure that I can get crisp lines without tape. You take care of them and then keep those covers that you see on many of those brushes right there. That will prevent the bristles from any further damage in the future. Another really cool tool that a lot of pro painters use is the paint can lid opener. As you can see on the left-hand side there, it has a little bit of a curved edge. That's designed specifically to get under the edge of the lid of the can and pry it up without causing any damage to that rounded area. The rounded area is designed to keep the paint inside the can. If you use something flat like a screwdriver or a hammer, you can cause damage to the lid, causing the paint to be compromised. This is a caulking gun, and it is used to, generally speaking, apply caulk to the places where you need it to seal up gaps. You can use this gun with any material that's in a hard-sided tube where you snip off the top of the tube in order to apply the application. So, for example, concrete fillers, tar caulking for roofs, or you can use this for construction adhesive so that you can bond two materials together. Is the trusty old drywall knife. This is used for spackle or plaster, basically anywhere that you need to fill in nail holes, screw holes, or patch in drywall. You're going to want to have a knife like this. An indispensable tool in any painter's kit is the 14-in-1. As you can see, mine has been well loved over the years, and I clearly use this thing for pretty much everything on a job site. I will list down in the description box below what all the functions are and how you use them and where you access them on this knife. If yours comes with bits, here's a little tip for you. You can see the bits down by the hole in the handle. So if you tip the thing up on its top and you look at the very bottom flat part of the handle, you'll see a little opening where you can put either the flat head or the Phillips head bit. I want to warn you that sometimes the grit can fade out a lot faster on a sanding block than on standard sandpaper, but one of the reasons that I love using these angled ones is because you can use that angle to get into really tight corners, such as on trim or in your wall corner. This little tool may not look like much, but this secure spring-mounted brush holder is exactly what any new painter needs. You use the teeth that are inside the little squeezy part in order to attach this thing to the side of your paint can. Here's a little tip. If you need a brush comb with you because you're using maybe a thicker paint or a drier paint formula, attach your brush to the angled front face, angling down into the can, and then you can attach the brush comb bristles right to the top magnet so that it isn't going anywhere. Speaking of a brush comb, here's mine. Again, another tool that has gotten a lot of love over the years, as is obvious from all the paint all over it now. But this thing is exactly what it sounds like. It is used so that when paint kind of dries on the bristles or the bristles are having trouble separating, you comb through it with this comb and it's used to give you a better application or for when you're washing out the brush. I will give you a big tip here. These bristles are extraordinarily sharp. Almost as sharp as an awl, maybe even sharper than an awl. It's very easy to hurt yourself, so I caution you to use this with very much care. A stir stick is your best friend. They're meant for paint, stain, or any other liquids that are meant to be blended up. And the name is exactly how I use it. I use it to stir. Use these stir sticks in a paint can. Don't just take it out and throw it away. You can use these over and over again. Just take your brush and swipe it down all 4 of the sides as well as the bottom edge. Try to get as much paint off as you possibly can so you can keep those edges flat and you'll always get perfect mixing every time. Another awesome tool to have on hand as a painter is a bucket. You can use this for pretty much anything, and make sure you get one that has a matching lid. That way, if you need to mix up any custom paint colors in bulk and you use it one day but you don't have time to finish it that day, you can just store this thing overnight and not worry about that paint drying out. I will caution you though, you don't want to leave the paint in one of these forever because it will eventually dry out. This is for short-term use, but those measurements on the side will really help a lot with mixing up custom colors. This is something that I always suggest buying in bulk because then you're never going to run out of them and you'll always have them on hand when you need them. They allow you to just clean up while you're working and clean up at the end of the day too. Dust, stuff can go all over the place. These are multi-use and great for everything. A little tip for you, if you wet one down before you get up on your ladder and hang it off of one of the back rungs of the ladder, it'll be great for cleanup and higher up places where maybe you don't want to have to get down off the ladder in order to reach. I almost never use tape, not in the traditional sense anyway. If I'm painting a wall or trim or a ceiling, I never use tape to cut in a straight line. I just take my time and use my pretty angled brushes and cut the straightest possible line that I can. If I need to use tape, that's generally in a decorative application. Actually just recently put up a tutorial about doing a chalkboard wall in our kitchen. I have tons and tons of tips for how and when to best use tape in that video, so I will link that up in the cards and you guys can go check that out to get even more tips for how to use tape in the best way possible. Yep, I feel like we all know what this is. Good pair of scissors. They are also an indispensable thing to have on the job because you just never know when you're gonna need to cut something that you can't use a utility blade for. I make sure that I keep my construction set and my kitchen set separate, and I store these construction ones in my tool caddy so I always have them in reach. I use a utility blade frequently on jobs, anything from scoring tape lines to scoring drywall. I even use this thing just to break down our recycling boxes sometimes. And it can be referred to as a box cutter, a utility blade, or a knife. No matter what, the number one tip I have for your utility blade is to always close it as soon as you're done. Safety first. Called a cage, these are roller handles, and as you'll see here, they come in various sizes, shapes, and styles. It's all going to depend on the job that you need it for and the roller cover that you are trying to put on it. The one thing that I will say is to try to keep paint out of any of the mechanicals. Anywhere that the cage spins, you want to keep paint out of there so it spins completely freely. That way you don't have any skips or drips or weird bumps in your paint finish. Another really indispensable tool for a painter are screwdrivers. You want to have these in your tool caddy or in your tool kit in both a flathead and a Phillips head version. You'll use these for anything from removing outlet covers to removing switch plates to making sure that you have everything off the wall, artwork, screws, etc. Now, I'll just say this, I do have an electric one that runs on batteries and it's great, I love it, but batteries do die. I always like to keep these with me because you just never know when you're gonna have to do something manually. I'm kind of an eco girl and I like to make sure that I use as little waste as possible on a job site. That's why I go for these heavyweight plastic paint trays, and they come in various sizes as you can see here. Try to wash this thing right away when you're done using it. I also like to use these to wash my roller covers. When you put this in the sink and you run your roller down the ridges, it will help to push paint and water out of the roller cover as well as clean the tray a little bit quicker. Pretty much the Mac Daddy of any home improvement toolkit, paint or otherwise, is the tape measure. Every home improvement DIYer is going to need one of these at some point in time in the future. I love this one that has the written measurements on it because I'm just bad at math and it's a lot easier to figure out 3/8 when it's written directly on the tape measure as 3/8. Something that I love using this for in a painting realm is to measure the wall to get the total square footage. That way I don't buy excess paint because I'm only buying enough paint to cover the square footage that I need to. If you've ever painted a ceiling before, then you absolutely understand the benefit of an extending pole. What you do on the end there on the left-hand side, you can see a little bit of a screw. That goes on the bottom of your roller handle. Then you can roll your ceiling or walls or any other thing that's far away or difficult to reach with ease. My particular version here, the Worcester Sherlock, extends from 4 feet to 8 feet, so I'm pretty short and have never had a problem reaching like a standard height ceiling. If you really plan to get into painting in a more meaningful way, I highly recommend picking up a fan deck. As you can see, this one is bare and this came from the Home Depot, but I also have one for Benjamin Moore, and I'm pretty sure I've seen any of the other big brands selling them. There are tons of brands of paint out there, and I highly recommend just going into your local home improvement store where you buy your favorite paint and asking if they have a fan deck available. It's possible that your local home improvement store won't let you purchase a fan deck. That's been known to happen in the past. So, if that's the case, I didn't want you to lack for a 21st tool. What I recommend is running out and picking up a nice set of artist brushes, a few various sizes of chip brushes, and a few various sizes and types of foam brushes as well. These brushes are great for small areas or strange applications where you're not able to get in there with a standard type paintbrush. You just want to take care of them like you do with your Purdy brushes, and they'll last you for pretty much ever. Okay, first coat of cut-in is complete. What are we up to on the tool count? Let's flash that up on the screen. Now I'm going to pull out a few more tools and I'm going to get with rolling on the first coat. As you can see, I cut in around the screws here because I just didn't want to deal with taking them out. Most of them are into anchors and frankly I just didn't want to deal with it. Even though I have my Phillips head screwdriver on me, we're just going to have to count that as a tool I didn't use today. So there you have it. Whether you're talking about your ceilings, walls, floor, your trim, furniture pieces, or even like some decorative items or things around your house, if you want to get the most professional level paint job possible, I highly recommend starting with any or all of these 21 tools. Go ahead and leave me a comment down below and tell me which one you're going to go out and buy first. Which one of these tools do you think is going to have the best impact on your paint jobs going forward? I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here and for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Give it a like, give it a thumbs up. You can find that down below. Also, right next to that down below is that subscribe button. So if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. I upload a new video every Friday morning at 6 a.m. and we would love to have you here for the next one. In order to be notified about that next one, click on that little bell notification and set it to all. That way YouTube will send you out a notification every time I upload. Then you can feel free to head on over to valley-buzz.com for even more information on DIY projects and the stuff that we're taking on here at our place. But why stop there? Get on out there and take on a DIY project of your own. Later, warriors! It's great, but it's way too much for this outro. Our house is way better than these videos. I would just like to point that out. I am a disaster. Hate it. Hate it. Hate it. Probably re-recording the outro later. This is like take 5. Ready to be done. Stop moving your hands. Moved my freaking hands again. Why can't I just say paint tools? Paint tools. Painting tools. Painter's tools. Paint tools. Decorative paint tools. Faux finishing work. Any kind of painting. Lipstick on my teeth.